Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another ballet basics video. So this one is a ballet center basics, and today we're going to be looking at weight transfer through Temps Lié and through Chassé. Sorry if there are some cat appearances in this video, by the way. I don't have like separate living room anymore. It's just the bar and the living room, so they're around. Anyway, Temps Lié means connected and Chassé means chased. So just so you know the definitions, but I'm going to go over now exactly what the movements look like and also some tips to get them really nice and neat. So as you know, in ballet we can often do movements in different directions and they're all correct, but to learn a movement it's always easiest to just choose one direction. So let's look at Temps Lié starting in first and going through second. So first, there's second. You see the weight transfer happened here to here. There's the weight transfer, and then I can transfer my weight again. Now if I was to do a similar movement but as a chassé, instead of pointing this foot, I'm actually going to slide it along the floor, and then I could close with a pointed foot. Now I can do that exact same thing from fifth position, so we could do and Temps Lié, we could do it with a plie, and we could do it with a chassé. Now I could also do that en avant and en arrière. So I could start with a tendu devant this time, and I could do my Temps Lié coming forward. Again, I could do a Temps Lié through a demi-plie. And finally, I could do it with a chassé. Now these are the very basics of these two steps. They can get a lot more complicated, but for now I'm going to leave it at that because I think it's easier to learn the movements when they're a little bit simpler. But I'm going to give you some tips for Temps Lié and for Chassé to make them nice and clean. So when we're thinking about Temps Lié, what can sometimes happen with a weight transfer is that we start to alter the hips. Now what I don't want to do in my weight transfer is start to lift in my tendu and do like an up and over, or start to take my hips before the leg comes. So my torso, this block, if you think of your torso as a rectangle, so hip bone, shoulder, shoulder, this rectangle is not going to alter at all. It might shift down, it might shift up, it might shift side to side, but I'm never going to lose the rectangle, whether it's this way, whether it's this way. Yeah, the rectangle stays intact the whole time. So if we do that again, 1, whole rectangle, 2, whole rectangle, close. So again, even harder maybe the second part of this, that when I'm coming to close on the other side, I don't lift this hip. Yes, again, rectangle is maintained and the weight just shifts and then I can close. It's the same thing if I do it with a plie. Yes, rectangle, 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, the rectangle principle applies with the chassé as well. So as I go down for the chassé, you see I kept the rectangle all in one piece. I didn't do hips and then torso. I do hips and torso all together, and then closing. So if we take this back to a quasi position now, we have to think even more about turnout, because as I come forward, not only do I have to maintain this rectangle, I also have to maintain my turnout so that I don't come something like this and I've lost my turnout. So as I come forward, maintaining the rectangle, and you see here as well, I don't try and bend both legs leaving my weight behind, or bend both legs taking everything forward already. It's not a tombe, that's a different movement. So with this, we want to shift the weight nice and evenly through the movement. There, bringing the whole rectangle with me and maintaining turnout in both legs, and then I can finish the movement. So if I show you the chassé on the other croisé this time, we want to maintain the rectangle of shoulders and hip bones, but we also want to maintain the turnout. So the easy thing that can happen here if you're not careful is that as you start the chassé, the hips start to swing open with the legs. So make sure that this again is coming all with you. And the same thing again, we don't want the leg to go by itself, or we don't want the whole body to come forward. Yes, nice and even, smooth transition of the weight from one leg to the other. So guys, I really hope this video was helpful. I hope it's cleared up any doubts you had about the difference between Temps Lié or Chassé, or even if you already knew those movements. I hope those tips are helpful in keeping a nice, clean, neat position as you transfer the weight. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!